This show is sponsored by APCW Wrestling Academy. Learn wrestling from WWE Hall of Famer Robert Gibson. If you're interested in becoming a professional wrestler, contact them at 770-871-5417 or online at apcwdouglasville@gmail.com. Also, buy Collar and Elbow brand. Save 10% on your next purchase by using our discount code WPNWrestle. That's WPNWrestle at checkout and get a discount on great collar and elbow products.
You know, and we all have our 15 minutes of fame, and I'd like to take a couple of my 15 minutes to talk about the rights and the wrongs in the world of professional wrestling.
WWE Championship.
This match is for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship.
For the World Heavyweight Championship.
The match and new NWA Heavyweight Champion.
We appreciate you guys coming out and taking your time to support women's wrestling in America.
This match is for the AWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship.
Tonight on the show, I have a mythical entity that will come and carry you off to the halls of Valhalla, should you be worthy at the time of your death. Okay, maybe not so much, but we have an interesting guest all the same. Yet another great female talent on the rise, and we'll peel back the layers of who she is so that you might be able to get some more insight in just what an earthbound Valkyrie might be, or something to that effect. My guest tonight is the seemingly multi-talented, and we'll talk about that later in the show, the Valkyrie, Laura Loveless.
Thank you. I'm going to have you come to any one of my shows and announce me out, because that is like the best intro I have ever gotten in my entire career. Holy crap.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. And, you know, and I might be working out a sequence here, but were you always the Valkyrie? Is this a new title that got tagged onto you?
This is newer, definitely.
This is newer. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the motivation behind you making this change? I mean, I know that wrestling is always a ever-evolving process, but, you know, why the Valkyrie?
Well, because a couple of reasons. You know, I feel, especially in the wrestling world right now, there is kind of like a turn back to, you know, bigger gimmicks, a little more stage to the show, if you will. Sometimes things looking larger than life, which I always really enjoyed. If a person can carry that well enough to make me believe it, I'll be happy to be entertained by it. So, and especially watching stuff like Lucha Underground, their gimmicks are insane. Like, they're really beautiful to watch. You get really into it. And I mean, they're phenomenal wrestlers on top of it. But I just got kind of like irked, and I'm just like, well, I got this new gear and people really dig it. It's very different. It's my gold and my holographic turquoise gear. And something about it just kind of rang in my head like, there's more to this that I'm not getting a handle on. I need to really kind of add on to this. This looks very ethereal. This looks very almost like fantasy-esque. Who would wear this in that kind of, you know, creative realm? And then it hit me like, well, Valkyries would totally like bust out in that. I'm like, okay. Do I have the gumption to create some wings and, you know, a headdress? And me being rather artistic, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go on Pinterest and I'm going to do some research and I'm going to learn how to make some wings. They did not have any directions on how to make light up wings. I actually had to figure all that out on my own, but I was able to do it. Not to toot my own horn, but toot toot. I did it on my own. And then I made myself the Valkyrie headdress, and I'm like, okay, now the gear matches, you know, the kind of overall image I had in my head, but the Valkyrie now seems to fit the gear, and the gear now seems to fit the name, and I feel that I can carry it well enough.
That's okay. I mean, you know, and I did see that. And for anybody that's listening, I want to say, if you haven't seen it, there's a video up on Laura's Facebook page where she has the grand entrance and the black light and the smoke and the light up wings and whatnot. If you haven't seen it, you probably need to go on there and take a look at it. If that's not good enough for you, you need to buy a ticket and see her live, you know, free plug for her. It was nice. And if you're telling me that you just took some time, like, hey, I'm just going to figure out how to make this, then bravo to you.
Oh, there was some trial and error. I'm not going to lie there. I had to ask the place I worked at, hey guys, do you have any pliers that can cut through about 8x8 millimeter wire or strong enough? They looked at me like, why in the hell do you need that? I'm like, I'm working on like this Pinterest thing, and they're like, oh, okay, go ahead. And they were nice enough to just give me a pair.
So was this like a secret project? You didn't say, hey, look, I'm making wings.
It was very, very secretive. I think I only told a few people, because in the world of wrestling, sometimes you have an idea, and from, I don't know, if it's just synergy or Sinatra or, whatever have you, and just like somebody else has the same idea, like, 8 states over. And sometimes that does happen, and it sucks. It sucks so hard when you think that you're being original, and all of a sudden just like, no, I can't do this now. Just a couple of close people, and they're like, I don't know. That seems like if you screw up these wings, it's gonna look crappy, and you're gonna get booed. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? That's gonna really suck.
So
but I'm gonna do it anyway. So they were cautiously encouraging, I guess is a good way of putting it. But once I finished them, and I showed the one person, and I showed them in like the dark, what it looked like, and especially that they can change color. I have a remote for that, and he was like, "Whoa! I never would have guessed this is what they would look like."
So is it safe to say that you didn't? I don't know if we want to call it superstition, but you didn't want to jinx the idea that, hey, I'm going to make wings, folks, and then you go out, and the next thing you know, the next state over, introducing the Valkyrie, Sharon Blaze, or something like that. Just, somebody else steal your gimmick. Well, not steal, but, just have
no, but I mean,
wavelength.
It happens a lot, and it's really not even a question of stealing. It's a question of just, like, something else that came out recently was that, what was a Marvel film?
Well, there's so many, you have to be specific now.
Right, I'm trying to think. It was about the Valkyrie. There was a Valkyrie in it.
Oh, right.
God, I can't remember it. Thank you. Yeah. So, and there was some very pretty imagery with Valkyries in that too. When I was working on my wings, I was looking at that. I'm like, yeah, people are going to get this reference. Okay, cool. Maybe people are going to be smart in what a Valkyrie is now because of the film. I was pretty stoked about that. And then I was thinking, oh, crap, what if another female wrestler sees that film? She's like, I want to be the Valkyrie too. Oh, no.
Well, now here's the plus that you have in there is that she didn't actually use the look of the Valkyrie. She looked more like a soldier in there opposed to, a Valkyrie, except in the flashback. The flashback, that was different.
Yeah.
So you
had
get away with that.
Well, and the other thing I thought about it too, and this does not hit me until I was about 70 to 80% done with them. I'm actually a big fan of Taya because I first saw her on Lucha Underground, but I always knew her as Taya, not Taya Valkyrie. And then I was about 80% done, and then I saw that she was going to be on Impact, and I'm like, oh, that's great. Her crown looks super duper. And I'm like looking at it, and it's Taya Valkyrie. Like, oh no, this isn't good.
Well, it's a last name, not a nickname. How does that help you any?
I doubt that I'm even a blip on her radar. I am a big fan of hers, though. I always watched her stuff on Lucha Underground. And was always very impressed. She comes in there and she she throws dudes around like a man would. So yeah, I aspire to be that strong. So if anything, she's definitely a very great inspiration, and I hope that she takes that in stride. That I'm not trying to steal her name.
Well, I'm sure that she is not going to take that personally. And as far as the strength is concerned, I think you should just sit down and listen to the Karate Kid soundtrack and then tune in to Cobra Kai. That might give you the inspiration and the strength that you need. Just tune in a couple of verses and you're the best around. You'll be tossing dudes like it ain't no tomorrow.
Oh, that's so funny because they're making a sequel to that now, right?
Yeah, because I think that's it. Cobra Kai. I don't know. Cobra Kai is like the bad guys, though. Although I would love to be a bad guy. It's the bad guys. Did I put that trailer up? I think the name of the show, and folks, we're getting off track. Just stay with us. I think the name of the show is Cobra Kai, and is what is it? It's on YouTube Red. But when I looked at it, I was like, okay, now is this supposed to just ignore the life lessons that Johnny got at the end of the Karate Kid 2 and the beginning of the Karate Kid? I mean, well, the end of Karate Kid 1. Okay, so we're just going to ignore that.
No, you got to get in there and you got to win. That's the only thing that matters. You win. It ain't about respect. You win. Come on.
Wait, he learned respect. He gave him the trophy at the end of the movie. Come on.
No, you sweep the leg and you win.
Ooh.
That's what matters.
Laura, I'm starting to think that you are a heel here. You know, I can't even remember the coach's name, but you go with the coach. The coach was evil. Sweep the leg. Are you telling me that you endorse that?
Well, not in that particular instance because he didn't win.
Uh-oh.
If he would have won, I mean, if he would have won, I don't know. I don't want to disagree with the winner, you know. You might sweep my leg.
I'm going to send you the trailer for that so you can, absorb that a little bit. But yes, Cobra Kai is the name of the series apparently. And for you kids out there, no, Mr. Green does not endorse the sweeping of the leg. You know, but I do understand that Ms. Loveless is healed on occasion, so her opinions and thoughts that she's putting out for you right now may not necessarily represent the Women's Pro Wrestling Network and or our shows. I have to toss that disclaimer out there because you just went full blown heel on me there for a second.
Sorry, I'll try to keep that in check.
No. Give me what you got now. I'm right here with you. I just, I just didn't want the Karate Kid thing to get out of hand. I just wanted to know the Cobra Kai is the bad guys. Now we have to remember that.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I've gone all over the place. I didn't even start at the beginning of Laura Lovelace's career. So let's rewind the tape here just a bit. Old piece of technology for some younger listeners. Why pro wrestling?
I grew up watching it as a little girl. Back in the day, this is going to really turn anyone's heads, 360 degrees. Back in the day, we had what was called cable boxes. And if you were really cheap and really, I don't want to say a thief, but you're essentially a thief. My family had what's called a black box. You might remember this.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Yep.
Now I don't know about that personally, mind you. I'm just saying, I know.
Well, I do. It's okay. I mean, I was too young to be charged or nothing, so I can very openly say that, yes, we stole all of the pay-per-views in the early 90s.
For shame.
I know, right? I'm sure the WWE is going to kick me back for that and make me pay up. But
when you sign that contract and Mr. McMahon hears that, he's going to be like, oh, wait a minute now. So he's going to
add some interest to that. I can tell you that. That's going to be like a $50,000 bill with that interest accrued. But so what happened was, as a little girl, I would watch, and as a wee little girl, watch some of this crazy wrestling stuff. My family got all into it, and so I would start watching it. And, I saw Alondra Blaze doing stuff, and I memorized that she could, kick and flip and do all these crazy things, and she was against Bull Nakano, and it was crazy because I thought Bull was an actual, demon woman. And I'm like, wow, this pretty blonde lady is fighting this demon woman, and it's incredible, and it's crazy, and it was insane. And then, The Undertaker and everything else. And I'm watching this as a little kid, probably I don't know, even before kindergarten at this point. And I'm just memorized. And I would start watching it throughout my adolescence, during the good old Attitude Era too. Mm-hmm. And I saw China finally, and China's out there beating the crap out of guys. And I'm just like, wow, this is great. Because quite honestly, in the 90s, you didn't have anything remotely close to that. A woman beating the crap out of, 6-foot dudes because she's a giant. It was something that was just, you couldn't find anywhere else except on, the WWE. So then we fast forward a bit, I'm in college and I just get out of college, and I peek at wrestling every once in a while, but it's just not on my radar. And then I end up getting back into it. And at the time, I took a boyfriend of mine to the Royal Rumble when it was here in Pittsburgh. The Shield was still around. It was a good time. Batista had come back at the end of the Royal Rumble. Not sure how everyone felt about it, but it was pretty incredible to watch the reaction.
They weren't happy.
I mean, it was my first time to the to a Royal Rumble, and I mean, it was an incredible experience, all on its own. Like, it was really cool. But then it just kind of hit me. Always really like working out really hard at the gym and trying to be active and just really working my ass off, but never for like that kind of goal for athleticism. It just like hit me, and I'm like, what am I doing this for? I should be doing that. That looks fun. I like being a performer. I like being active. Why am I not combining the two? Why am I not trying to learn how to do this? And then I just came to the decision, well, I'm going to find a wrestling school and I'm going to figure this out. And I did. And then, as they say, the rest is pretty much history.
Okay, so if we're going to do the timeline for that, considering that Royal Rumble was 2014, was that your debut year in wrestling, or at least the sign up of training?
I believe. I'm trying to think. I think it was 2015 is when I started to get into it, wrestling wise. Yeah.
All right.
I got into school. Yeah, and then my debut was in 2016 because I joined a class pretty late in 2015. I think my tryout was, in November, early November. Then my actual first official match was in like the following April.
Who was your first opponent?
Honey Badger.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So Honey Badger. What a.
Yep. We went to school together, actually.
I was going to say, what a title.
It wasn't actually for a title at that point. It was just for a women's match.
I was just saying, what a title, Honey Badger. I just like the name.
No, check her out. Honey Badger, she's a ferocious little lady. She has claws, and she bit me, and she threw me around. And I remember in that first match, I did not appreciate it because, everyone loved her, and everyone hated me. And she was the Honey Badger, and she bit me.
Okay.
So
now here's the question that I love how we like to do convenient truths. Now here's the real question: why did they hate you, Laura?
Okay, I might have provoked Honey Badger. I might have.
Okay, there we go. So,
I might have possibly called her a bitch. It happens. Tensions are high. Whatever, it doesn't matter. She still shouldn't have bit me. Whatever.
Okay. I love that about heels. I was like, I could tell you just enough of the truth. Just let's omit this other stuff around it. You don't need to know that I, enticed her into biting.
I called her out, possibly. Whatever. It doesn't matter. That's what you do. That's what you have to do.
Okay.
She didn't have to go all crazy and Fez press me and stuff. Whatever.
She didn't have to do those horrible things.
No.
Shame on her.
Completely unprovoked.
I know.
Absolutely.
And Honey Badger, if you're listening to this, shame on you for doing these terrible, mean things to Laura Loveless here.
Honey Badger.
Clearly wasn't a Valkyrie at that point, so whatever superpowers that she might have had weren't in gear quite yet.
No, unfortunately weren't. No, Honey Badger whipped my ass a couple of times, so.
So, and that brings to mind another question, because having done these interviews a number of times now, I've got the chance to interview a fallen angel and a superhero and a woman that has evolved backwards into a dinosaur. And I usually wind up in some form or another asking the same question: have you lost your mind?
I would say I'm probably more on what they call borderline. So I have maybe, unconventional personalities I run to in a time of stress.
Ah.
If I have to be thorough about my explanation.
Please.
I got another chick I like to be called Laura Lohan, and she is a mess.
Well, I do have that listed. So let's get there since you brought it up. Who was Laura Lohan, or maybe should I say is that past tense, or is the personality still somewhere in the crevices of your psyche, or has she gone away?
Oh no, she's still there.
She's still there.
It just depends on what show can actually legally book her. Is the problem that comes up often.
So who is Laura Lohan? Let's get that out, because and let's explain that there is another personality that apparently goes by the name of Laura Lohan, which I guess shares the same body as Laura Loveless, and she appears to be some sort of legendary train wreck.
Definitely. Laura Lohan grew up very privileged and rather, unmanaged in the Beverly Hills area. She had a quick, fleeting taste of stardom that she basically destroyed for herself. And what comes to follow is just very poor decisions and, possible, booze and or substance-related abuses. Sometimes, I won't say typical escape from a rehab facility, but it's close enough to typical that it happens often. She usually is accompanied by a sponsor that has to keep her into the ring and, from her running away. She periodically likes to break out of the match and likes to drink, a beer with the crowd. Like she's a woman of the people. We'll put it that way. She's an average Joe, just trying to get back to her feet, trying to. Yes, she is thrown off her socialite, and high status and high economical class range. She casted aside to become a woman of the people. Drink a beer with the fans or whoever be smart enough to slip her a mini bottle, and her makeup is always smudged, but damn it, she gets in that ring and she tries her best. And she wears a wig.
Now, I would assume, just based off of her background, I would think that beer might be a little bit beneath her, but, that's just me. Maybe she just maybe her tastes have broadened since she's been knocked down a peg or two, but assuming that she has her choice of drink, what is the preferred drink that Ms. Lohan likes?
Oh, I bet you all thought that she would say something like vodka, like Absolute. Nope. This girl, she likes her scotch and she likes her whiskey.
Oh, okay.
So she's
hard.
If she's on the high end of things, she'll be drinking Jameson. If she's on the low end of things, it's Jim Beam.
I'm gonna say that perhaps, just perhaps, she could use some sort of sponsored rehab, maybe.
Been there, done that.
Is it not helping?
The one sponsor she had, we'll just say they quote unquote involuntarily quit.
Oh, okay. That's not good.
That takes a lot.
Yeah.
No. And the other sponsor she had was actually less helping her try to overcome her ordeal and possibly more encouraging her to go deeper.
Yeah, sure, you can need another drink. Go ahead. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
I would think that person probably has some sort of ulterior motive if they're doing that. You can handle it, Laura.
Kind of. Okay, you ever see Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
I have.
It was kind of like that. Yeah.
Well, let me correct myself. Not you, Laura Lohan. She was on the experimental run of how much of this stuff can I take and how's it going to affect me? Is that what she was doing?
Hey man, any given Sunday, right? So I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Okay. Now I did see that, not only that, but I saw the actual video footage of the guy that was based off of, and he was a killer. So if she's anywhere close to that, then there is some real issues.
You never know.
Perhaps she should go to, I forget what DDP calls it, the accountability crib.
She should take some DDP. No, she should just go to DDP yoga.
That's right. I mean,
that will help her clear up all these things.
I'm just saying, miracles have happened. Miracles have happened there. You know, I'm just gonna put that out in the universe. So if she begins to rear her ugly head, well, you know, I don't mean that literally speaking, but if she begins to rear her ugly head and starts to somehow gain control over the being of Laura and converts her into Laura Lohan, perhaps someone will be kind enough to point her in the direction of Mr. Dallas Page, and he can get some positive thinking into her life and bring her back around. That's just a suggestion from Mr. Green to Laura Loveless.
I will pass it along to Lohan and see what she says.
Yeah, if she has words that can't be repeated, you know, just kind of keep that to yourself. We don't want to we don't want to get insulted by the woman. So we have Laura Lohan. We've covered her. That is a secondary personality. You know, one of the things that I do enjoy about covering independent wrestling is the evolution that wrestlers may take over the course of their career. I mean, I've covered a couple of people down here being in Atlanta, where they've really taken a long, well, maybe not long, but taken a path to finding out who exactly they were in the ring. And it sounds like you have more or less done the same thing. Like, okay, I'm starting here. I don't know if I like this. Let me add this in here. Let me try that. Was Lohan the only other persona that was kind of generated, or did you go through a bunch of trial and error to get to where you are now? You seem very comfortable, or at least like, okay, I got it, the Valkyrie, this is it. But preceding that, what did you have on your plate?
I just had Laura Loveless, non-Valkyrie Laura Loveless, and I just had Lohan. Laura Loveless was more of a safe persona. Mm-hmm. More, you know, I can test the waters out with this one. She, you know, your basic heel. Okay. Yeah, and I definitely started out as heel, and it was very easy for me to get into that mode of thinking, because I don't want to say I'm naturally, you know, a bitch, but I can very naturally get in front of a crowd and get them, you know, amped up with anger. I don't know why. I just can. I could pick apart, you know, the marks, if you will. I could pick apart the weakest link in the crowd. I really enjoy getting people to hate that character. I want them to see me lose. I really feed off of that. So it was very easy for me to fall into a heel persona. Wearing flashier, sometimes more flesh-bearing gear at that point, too, in my area as well, like the area of PA that I was wrestling in and starting out at. I was very comfortable with it. So I was thinking about this and thinking, okay, well, this is very basic. I don't want to be basic. I don't like the idea of being basic.
Okay.
I like my persona, but there is nothing that sets me apart from, you know, girls that do the same exact thing and that could possibly do it 5 times better than me and can wrestle 10 times better than I can. So I need to, you know, start thinking outside the box and how I want to stand out until, you know, and I think maybe 2 or 3 matches in, until my skill falls into suit, until, you know, I get more ring experience. I still need to get out there to get more experience, but no one's going to book you if you look like generic A, B, and C girl. And if they're all hotter than you, well, good luck, you know? I'm being absolutely serious. It's a terrible thing to say, but it's very, very true.
And I believe that because I wrote this question down, not specifically gauging on hotness. So let me be clear. But the question was, I wanted you to tell me about the difficulty in succeeding in wrestling on the indies, because since I've been doing this channel and Facebook page, quick plug for me, I've seen several girls just up and quit the business for various reasons. Not just up and quit. I've seen what you just described, where somebody who has either little to no training will get a shot in somebody's promotion just because, and it's just a weird thing. So my question is, How difficult do you perceive that, and how do you navigate it?
Oh my! There are 10,001 things happening all the time when it comes to being booked. And in my own personal experience, the best thing that you can present and hope for, because they ride in the same hand, you have to be able to stand out with your ability, with your persona, and your gimmick. Okay, that will get you at least a foot in the door. Everything else, it doesn't hurt to know some of the guys on the roster, if you've managed for them or if you've worked with them, if they could put in a good word, that always helps. It's I would say that is actually probably the most similar as it would be for women as it is for men. Knowing a person that will vouch for you is huge. Knowing a person that will, because they're putting their name on the line if they put you over, to say, hey, this person can work, you should really think about putting them on a show. It's the same for guys too. But then you put in the little extra factors with the ladies, like they see a bad photo of you, I don't know, eating a sandwich or something, and you look fat. Oh, I don't know. She doesn't look like she's ring ready or ring shape. Well, what the hell does that mean? I'm eating a goddamn sandwich. Why don't you just let me eat my sandwich? Why don't you take a look at the 8 or 9 promo pics that I have where I'm at least sucking in my stomach? It's goofy stuff like that kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit. But ultimately, in the long run, do you really want to work for a promotion that's going to, garner beauty over skill? Because then you run into, and this is quite common, at least for women wrestlers, I'm not sure for guys, if they're going to put you with somebody who is not trained enough or not trained at all, then it gets into scary territory. Because if you're green and if you get put with somebody that, is just starting out or doesn't really work, you don't know what to do. And at that point, you're just like, well, now we have to throw together a match where we're just not going to end up killing each other. Like, that can happen, too. I've seen it happen, knock on wood. I have never had 30, but I've seen that happen to other girls to where, and some of these other girls weren't ready to, try to lead a match with somebody that wasn't full of trained. It gets real scary. You're starting to see less of that now, I can say that, because now women's wrestling is so much on the forefront of everyone's mind that they are looking for skilled competitors. And, I'm really, really, really thankful every day of the women's revolution, quote unquote, at WWE, because it's really put a lot more focus on the women that they're putting on shows. Now this means that I'll get to work women that are, 3, 4, or 5 years my senior in this business, and I can really learn something from them. And I get really excited, especially if I get to work somebody like, say, Angel Dust. Oh my God, I learned so much from working only 2 matches with her. And I felt so much more confident with working with somebody like her, because she told me about all the little things that I need to keep in touch with and think about. And the same thing with Solo Darling. Oh my God, I learned so much stuff working 1 match with her that I wrote it down, because I'm just like, oh my God, these are things I wouldn't even have thought of. And those are the kind of matches that I want to have. Those are the kind of people I want to work the most, because I learn the most from them. Working somebody your own skill set or below is fine, but after a while, it doesn't necessarily propel you in the right direction. Does that make sense? That was a long-winded answer.
No, it makes total sense, and without me sounding like I'm insulting it, because again, I've been watching and trying to cover this for some time now. Part of that was my coverage of the WoW promotion. And I'm going to say this without sounding insulting. The original incarnation of that was essentially what you've described there, where there was probably, say, a roster of 20 women, and although they all worked hard and they all trained and you had maybe 3 or 4 of them who were like just naturally fantastic. The rest of that was like the blind leading the blind, because they all had the same skill set. They all learned from the same person. They all, they all had the same amount of experience. So by the time they stepped into the ring, it was just, all right, what are we doing?
Kind of. Yeah. And I mean, you'll get that too with guys, like, and it happens. It naturally happens in the course of things. Guys will get the same thing, and that they're, and And sometimes you'll see that fatal four-way that just turns into a train wreck. And, Lord knows it happens. Don't feel too bad about it. It's just going to be one of those things in your career that you're going to have to learn how to deal with and overcome. But when it's a one-on-one kind of thing and, when you realize, oh, no, I could really get hurt with this person, it might not even be that person's fault. And that's the most terrible thing about it. There's no one to get angry at. It's just basically the situation.
Except the promoter.
And, yeah,
sometimes
that happens too.
I mean, let's call a spade here, since we're chatting about the business. I have seen and bore witness to promoters who've taken completely untrained girls just based on their look and like, hey, I want to be a wrestler, and stick them in the ring with somebody, and now it becomes that other person's task to get this match over to the best of their ability. Like,
yeah,
how do you even bother? And I felt so bad for her because I knew her. I was like, oh man, I was, what are you doing? I was like, how do you even? That's like working with a stick. I don't know.
Well, and I mean, I gotta take that with a grain of salt though too, because I'm sure at some point somebody said the same thing about me working me if they've worked longer. I am almost 99% positive that they did, and
well, that's that may be true, but I think in your case and in several other women's cases, the difference being is that you actually did get up and go someplace and learn how to. Now I can tell you again, and I'm certainly not going to put out her name. But I've gotten emails from people assuming that I am running a promotion and wanting to be profiled. And she flat out told me that I trained myself.
Oof.
So what?
That is a scary, scary sentence. I don't know how I feel about that.
So what do you say? Like, am I supposed to now pass you off to promoters that I know that look at me? I was like, I don't know what I should be doing here. I was like, I can't really endorse this because, you're telling me that the best that you've done is that you've trained yourself.
When it gets to a situation like that, like, all right, I can understand, through, oh my God, osmosis, like, all right, you got into the business being a manager and like, you asked to train with some of the guys and like, let's say your first year and you were training with some of the dudes that taught you a couple of things here and there. I can get that. I can completely understand that. Maybe there just wasn't an opportunity for you to actually train there or X, Y, Z, whatever. Mm-hmm. But brass tacks, like if you're a year into this and you seriously want to do this, you can't depend on training yourself. You have to go to some kind of reputable trainer. Like spend whatever, $1,000 or $2,000 it takes, take the course. There are plenty of really awesome schools in the Northeast area or wherever that you might be, I'm sure there are great places to go to study. This is something that really kind of just makes my head spin sometimes. Okay, wrestling, if you're really looking to do this, should be studied like a college course. That's the amount of seriousness I think that you need to have about it. You should be watching tape. You should be going to training, if not once, but twice a week at least. You should be hitting the gym 5 times a week. You should be taking notes. This is a craft, This is something that you are studying, I hope, to be a profession. And it needs to be followed with that kind of gusto if you are studying, a career in college. It's the same thing, at least to me. I don't know.
I would agree that it should require some level of research and study, and just if for no other reason, just pride behind your craft. I mean, if you're not gonna look at it in terms of wrestling, just treat it like you would any other job that you like, not a job that you're doing to get through or get by or get paid. Just treat it with if you like it, or correction, if you love it. Treat it like you love it.
It takes a lot of investment, and I know that, especially financially. Holy crap! If I only would have told you what I spent on gear and making those wings, man. But yeah,
should I play Prices Right with that?
I'm sorry.
I said, should I play Prices Right with that?
The wings weren't as expensive as you would think because I figured out a way to make it all work. The gear. It was really not that bad.
Might be a little up there.
Thing is, I had to sew. I bought fabric to sew my own leggings by hand, so that saved me some money.
Don't give me no numbers. We don't need to put your numbers out there. But clearly, you saved money by doing it yourself.
If I had to guesstimate hours of my time put into everything, the headdress, the wings, and the sewing the parts of my own gear, I would say at least 24 to 48.
Oof. Yeah, I would have gotten very bored with that, but it's like, why is this not done yet?
I didn't. In fact, it amped me up more. And I work a regular 9 to 5, so this is me doing this on my off time, on top of training, and going to practice, and then going to the gym, at some ungodly hour in the morning. So
the key word for that, kids, is dedication.
I'm not gonna lie, I had a blast making my wings and my headdress. And learning how to sew my leggings. I was pretty stoked about when it all came together. And after you look at it and it's actually a completed, item, you're just like, I made that. Holy crap! I'm gonna put this stuff on Etsy and make some extra money.
And you know what we call that? We call that love.
It is love. I do have love for this. It's a almost perverted or selfish love. Almost
I'm not
made
sure
of nepotism. Yeah, it's almost not nepotism. Neurotic. That's the word. It's slightly neurotic love. It's a weird obsessive love, but it's love. Okay. I think. Yeah.
It's all of those things, but it's love all the same.
Sure, we'll go with that.
And there may be a certain amount of irony as we speak of that, coming from a woman whose last name is Loveless. But where did that come from?
It's actually tattooed on my spine. Before the world of wrestling.
Back that up. Why do you have Loveless tattooed on your spine?
I was in a band. Well, this is actually even before I was in the band. I always wanted a tattoo, and I never thought, what would I get? And I found this font that I really liked, and I was a really big fan of the film The Loveless, old biker movie from the 80s. It's out there. It's a weird Willem Dafoe is in it movie. It's also it's the name of a song from a band I can't remember the name of right now. But I really dug the movie. And I figured, hey, if I'm ever in a band, that would be like a really good front woman name, Laura Loveless. And then I just said, well, considering how you do things out of order, like you don't have the band yet, you should totally get the front man name down first. So I got it tattooed on my spine. And that was like 2012.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Still need to get that fill one point or another. I really do need to get it touched up. But, yep, it is still currently down my spine. When I went into wrestling practice and they saw part of it, they were like, what does that say? Does that say love? And I said, no, it says Loveless. And he's like, well, that's your wrestling name. I'm like, oh, I don't get to choose? He's like, not with that on your back.
Well, that is a good point. How do you then go outside? It's like, hey, guys, my name is Heather Graham. Or it's like, no, why do you got Loveless on your back? I don't know.
Ignore that. Yeah, exactly. Ignore that. You don't see that.
That's right. You need to practice mass hypnosis first before you take another name.
The funniest thing is, I have my current gear. It completely covers my back, so I don't need Loveless on there anymore.
Ah, well, so now you can change your name without having to learn how to, manipulate people's minds into not seeing it.
The Loveless Valkyrie does have an interesting kind of ring to it, though, especially when the Valkyrie's a bad girl. So.
I was trying to set you up earlier with the whole mythology thing, and that you're coming for the honorable and whatnot, but somehow I guess you're evil Valkyrie too. At some point in time, I'm going to assume or predict that the Valkyrie and the fallen angel, wrong tagline. The Clockwork Angel have to tag up at some point.
Maybe, I don't know, or at least do battle. I've already done battle against a warrior elf in New Jersey at Monster Factory.
What?
So, yeah, no, she came in with armor and everything. Her name is Riley, and
warrior elf.
It was pretty. Yeah, no, she comes in with armor, like legit leather armor. It looks really super cool. Look her up if you haven't got a chance to. Her name is Riley.
Okay.
She works for the Monster Factory. Her gear is insane.
She didn't happen to come out to Legend of Zelda theme music, did she?
No, but she could at some point if she wanted to. She really could. But it was kind of like surreal, me coming out with my wings lit up, and I'm the Valkyrie, and then comes out this like warrior in this leather armor. I'm like, geez, this is far more of an epic quote unquote match than I ever thought this would be. Holy crap! No, I would definitely love to work with her again. It was a really good match. I really enjoyed working with her and Veta, another gal from the Monster Factory. He recently just came back. She blue thunderbombed me, though, so I don't know how I feel about that, but whatever, it's fine.
You don't sound very convincing when you say it's fine.
No, it's fine. It's whatever. I'll get them back. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying, it didn't sound very convincing in that. Like, sure, it's fine. Doesn't bother me a bit. I don't care what you call me.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Just go back out there with my wings lit up, and I'll be fine.
Indeed. We'll just focus on the wings. The wings calm you.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, they're great for my ADD.
The wings?
Yeah, because they change color too.
Let's see, there you go. You can do, I forget what Thor kept saying to the Hulk in there. Hey, calm down, big guy. The sun's setting, or whatever the heck it is. Let's make sure you don't Hulk out there.
No, I could just go to a rave and like throw some poor kid like an awesome light show and just like dance around and stuff. I'm sure. You know what? I actually might do that now that I have the wings. I might just go, crash a rave and just be like, I'm the Valkyrie, and just dance around. Why not?
Well, I'm sure they will welcome you with open arms as you dance. First off, I wouldn't want to get in your way if you just come in and hollering, "Hey, I'm a Valkyrie!" Woo! So that might be interesting to see.
Don't ever get in the way of the Valkyrie's dance on. That would be a recipe for disaster. You gotta let her cut loose sometimes. She has a lot of pent up anger.
Although I will say, I think that has all the hallmarks of a nice wrestling vignette. I'm just gonna put that out in the universe.
I'm thinking about it now that I threw it out there. To be honest with you, I'm really seriously considering it.
Just make sure the cameras are there. That's all I'm asking. Just make sure the cameras are there to capture it.
Live stream all the way.
All right. Okay. Well, there we go. I was going to ask, what did you do previous to getting into pro wrestling? But you already kind of hinted at that. So we're going to rope into there because there was a life before there was a Valkyrie. Well, I can't say before there was a Laura Loveless because apparently Laura Loveless was a front, I want to say front man, front woman, I guess, front person. Is that the appropriate thing to say? I don't know.
I'm not politically correct. You can say front man or front woman. I don't care.
Okay, we'll go with that then. And but you were a singer. Is that correct?
That is correct. I actually have a degree in music, a bachelor's degree in music. I have studied music since I was about 7 years old. So being a performer has always been a huge chunk of my life, actually.
So you are you still performing musically? I know you're performing, but in terms of music.
No, not at this time, only because wrestling has really just taken a big chunk out of my schedule, along with working a normal 9 to 5. I actually have a bunch of music I pre-composed for like some of my vignettes and some of my promos and things that I will start posting out there on my YouTube page. I would like to, but it would have to take the right project. I was in a band for about 2 years. It was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. It's just, people's responsibilities change, especially if they get married or, XYZ, whatever. I would love to do it again. Yeah. Kind of, and I'm not going to judge you. Kids are rather important. That kind of takes precedence over my, band idea and my song idea, whatever. But I still compose all of my own music. I love doing it. It's helped me understand a great deal of mathematicism. It's helped me, kind of propel my business career in that aspect as well, understanding patterns and things like that. So I would love to start doing it more. It's just, where to find the time on top of, doing the Valkyrie gimmick and sewing stuff and going to work and working out and going to practice and everything else. So maybe soon, maybe within the next year or so, I'll get back into it. I hope I do.
Well, see, if you had Laura Lohan personality wrapped up in there during the band years, you could have just guilted them into, what do you mean you got to take your kid to practice today? So, it's the band.
Right? I could have been like, but I'll die if you don't perform. You have to make it to practice, otherwise I might hurt myself. See, that's terrible. I hate that girl.
Yes, that is terrible, but it is Lohan. See, like, you could have.
She's too much of a coward to ever hurt herself. She would never do that.
It's just talk.
Yeah, it's all talk.
Well, but that's I'm holding the glass
much to
up.
what Lohan is. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying that you got to have that all worked out. I'm holding the glass up to my wrist right now. I'm telling you, I'm gonna do it.
Lohan, is that candy glass? She puts it in her mouth. No. It tastes sweet, though. It's sugar glass.
Yeah, it's not candy glass. It's sugar glass. It's different.
Yeah, get it right.
Well, there you go. I'm just saying. Just putting that out there for the band. Also,
possibly in the future.
Yeah. Also, another wrestling vignette. I'm just gonna toss that one into the universe as well. We got that. We got 2 in the Universal Vignette database.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Got those things that you can put out there. You got some nice vignettes to add to the layers of who is Laura Loveless.
The persona of Laura Loveless will have like 5 different personas by the end of this year, and they're all going to be just, I don't want to say the F word on your show, but they're just going to be...
Well, go ahead and knock yourself out.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, edit me out. Fuck ton crazy. How about we say that? They're just going to be just nuts. Laura Lohan, the Valkyrie Laura Loveless, regular Laura Loveless, and 2 unlockable characters that if you get enough points, you'll be able to unlock, and then possibly a 6th one if you beat the ultimate mega boss. That's my goal.
I like
that
the
is my
game
goal.
Reference. Big
and
plus right there.
It's going to be like a fighting game, and each one will have their own abilities and capabilities. That's my goal. I want to make a fighting game version of myself, and after 3 years of doing that in a row and not dying, and that I could possibly be able to say, all right, I think I've done enough stupid stuff with my life. I'm going to just, go to my 9 to 5 and just kind of forget this.
You'll never be able to forget this.
Probably not, no. I'm way too financially invested to forget it and walk away. It's like the mob.
Yes.
I owe this now more than it owes me.
I wish I could tell you that it gets easier, but any creative endeavor that you've sunk massive amounts of money into is just like, no, you're not going anywhere. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, honestly, it is like the mob. If I do want to get out of it, it's only going to be like through death. or possibly witness protection. Maybe witness protection.
Pretty much. That's about the only exit choices that you have here. You're not leaving. This is not.
No, I'm not.
Please, I want to get out. No, I'm sorry.
They keep pulling me back in.
Back to work. So no, yeah. I think you're going to be either a wrestler or a singer for the rest of your days. Which, now that you remind me, shout out to Aria Cadenza, or at least the former Aria Cadenza, because you reminded me of her taking that kind of same path of music, although you haven't incorporated music into your wrestling the way that she did. She is since retired. I think she's stepped away.
I had a match against her, actually.
That should have been interesting.
Yeah.
I could have had a sing-off.
No. She, first off, is an amazing singer. The range of her vocal, incredible. The fact that she can do that before and after a match is even more incredible. The first time I took a Vader bomb was from Aria, and she did it great. Really enjoyed working her a great deal. Sad to see her retire. I think
I just met her, or at least just interviewed her.
I believe that she retired because she is having a child. If I know that correctly, yeah. But congratulations to her. I'm sure she will be a kick-ass mother, and it was very nice to have a match with her. She was within the spectrum of I think she was in like the first 10 of my matches. So I really appreciate the fact that she was exceptionally patient with me. Very nice gal. I liked her a lot. I get to have a match with her, and it was Altoona, PA. So, no, she was very, very nice. Very nice girl.
Well, yes, I don't know if she is pregnant or had a child by now. Then congratulations to her. I just remember when I did speak with her, she was basically like, yeah, I got my 9-to-5 job and I do this on the weekend and do that and then I wrestle. I was like, how do you sleep? She had so much, and then she just got married. So I was like, wow, okay. So I can certainly understand why this time came. But anyway, that was a quick side note. Earlier, I alluded to you being a multi-talented woman, and we have certainly covered and peeled back the layers to that. Are you also an actress?
No.
Yeah, come on. That's a legitimate question. Now I know that comes out of the blue, but let me explain why that comes up. Because on your channel, there's a promo, which basically comes across, or at least presented, more so like a short film than a promo, than a typical promo.
I know which one you're talking about, but go ahead.
So, just based on that alone, because, again, your typical promo doesn't really set up that way or present that way or edit it that way. It came off more as an acting job than the typical, hey, I'm going to kick your ass, type deal. So, that was the reason that actress came to mind. I was like, I don't know if it was something that you tampered with, that you actually did it, or, thought about. So the laugh answers it and tells me no. but who produced that?
So that was, basically it takes a second to explain. So I have a good friend named Arvin Clay who actually does do film and things like that, for a profession. He outshoots some of a horror movie before. He is a photographer, a great artistic guy. Does phenomenal photography. I'm going to use him for my next promo pics, actually, so I'll give him definitely a shout-out. Arvin, you're the best. But we both love film. And like I said before, whenever I'm doing something related to wrestling, I always try to stand out. I always try to think of something different, but something that the audience still might be able to relate to. I love the film American Psycho. And I had been watching it a couple times over. I'm like, hey, this would be really cool for a promo, or an idea of a promo if people got it, but it needs to be shot the right way. So I got together with Arvin. I'm like, do you think we could shoot like something like short, but like, still give it that vibe? And he's like, oh yeah. So I kind of told him what I was going for and kind of the shots that I was going for too. And he said, absolutely, we can do something like that. So in this essence, he was almost like the cinematographer, because I gave him the idea of the shots that I wanted to shoot. And then I did the voiceover work after. It really came together really well, and I have to, not enough props for him because there were shots that I was trying to make happen, and he was just like, yeah, that's not going to work. And I'm like, oh, okay. But he did a phenomenal job with shooting that for me, and I think it took about 2.5 hours of shooting just to make sure that we had enough, I guess, like extra footage in case something got screwed up, or enough takes and everything else. But I really wanted to give this sense of like it being creepy, and this person was a little off in the narration of what's going through my mind. and give you kind of like this feeling like, oh, something's not right with this girl, and she wants to fight other girls, and she's a little weird. I don't know. This is kind of super creepy. So some of the other people that watched it are like, is that like American Psycho? I'm like, yes, it was. Like, oh, we loved it. I'm like, oh, cool, people got it, which made me breathe like a big sigh of relief. I'm like, oh, thank God. Okay, they got the reference. But yeah, I always try to do something different. I'm really thankful that I have him to work with. He'll be helping me shoot my next promo with the Valkyrie once it's not raining where I live. I don't want to light up my wings in the rain. Unfortunately, nah. Not willing to die for the gimmick just yet. We'll see. But no, he just we definitely watch a lot of film, and he completely understood where I wanted to go with the promo. As for me being an actress, I love telling a good story. I could definitely be a comedian if I need to. I'm good at making people laugh when I need to. Being an actress would be pretty awesome. I could see myself in that mode, definitely. Just never really got, besides wrestling or doing my promos, that avenue. Maybe in the future? I don't know. I never thought that I'd be wearing wings that lit up at, like, my age, so God only knows what's possible in the future.
Yeah, you might certainly turn around like, you know what, I want to do a movie.
Hey, you know what? It happened for the guy, Danny Tajero.
Trejo?
Trejo, thank you. Like, yeah, he was, like, in and out of prison, and then he was a boxer, and somebody saw him on set. They're like, hey, you want to be in our movie? And then, the rest is history, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, really, you never know.
No, you don't, because Danny is one working actor. That's for certain. I'm like, man, he might not be a lead all the time, but he is consistent.
Hey, you know what? In Predators, I believed his character. And when they killed him off early, that made me mad.
Hey, well, you can't survive them all. Although I will say, just as another side note, I like Predators. I know it doesn't get enough love, but I saw the original Predator, and I thought they did a lot of nice callbacks to the original movie. So, shout out to that.
I had a blast. I saw it in the theater. I thought it was a good movie. That's just me. I thought that I did not expect what's his face to be the lead man, who kept talking like Solid Snake, and like that was a bit jarring, but it worked. I believed it in the end. I forget that guy's name too. Sorry, it's been a long day.
The lead actor, the guy that played
Horace?
Brody.
Yeah, he was in the film. Yeah, Adrian Brody. There we go.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that either, because I never really saw him as an action guy, but even I had to say, good grief, that dude must have just lived in the gym for a year or something. But
yeah, and it sounded like he smoked a half pack a day. But that boy is so grizzled. Ugh.
Well, that's called going to the Christian Bale School of Acting.
That's kind of good.
The Batman set.
Yeah, right.
So he didn't have to smoke for that. It's just I gotta sound creepy and hardcore, so just gotta make my voice all grizzled.
One day I'm gonna do that too.
Again, if you're going to do that, please have a camera around, because I won't be up there to see it. So I just need to hear it.
It's gonna be my intro into becoming an actress. Don't you see, Mr. Green? I'm gonna be female Batman. That's gonna be my first role.
So not Batwoman or Batgirl. I'm going to be female Batman.
Female Batman. Exactly.
That's going to be the name? All right.
Yes.
That's a good one. No, I'm not Batgirl. Can't you see? It's a female Batman.
Well, I don't want to ruin the trademark, so, that's why I'm not doing Batgirl. I just want to be the female Batman.
I know, but, just having to explain that is probably comedy in and of itself.
You know what? I'm going to mark that down. It's going to be one of my next vignettes.
Yeah, that just the scene of female Batman showing up explaining to Commissioner Gordon, so you're not Batgirl. And you're not Batwoman.
No, female Batman.
How does that work?
Gender
exactly?
neutral. Nice gender neutral. No one gets offended. I am female Batman.
But it's gender all in the name. It's just both ways.
Exactly. See how there was that big pause of silence that, just sat there uncomfortably? That's going to be the reaction to that.
Oh, boy. Yes, write that down. I think you and your filmmaker buddy need to produce that.
Oh, my.
I think I've given you like 3 or 4 assignments already, haven't I?
Yeah, I can't wait to re-listen to this so I can write those all down again because I'm going to forget.
I'm sure. I would forget them if I didn't have it being recorded. But comedy, you did bring up comedy. It did seem as a natural inclination for you. You ever thought about pursuing that as well?
Yeah, I have. Arvin actually goes to open, the guy I told you about who does all the filming and the photography, he actually goes to open mic night, and he asked me, hey, would you like to go down there one of these days? I'm like, oh, yeah, it's awesome. He goes usually on days that I have performances and or practices, so it hasn't really worked out yet. But I think that just in the sense of being out in a crowd or being out in front of a crowd and working new material, I think it's really important for any wrestler to try that, just to help. Okay, so if you're a wrestler that's like, let's say you're very athletic, you're very look-oriented, and maybe you're not great on the mic, I think that going to an open mic and testing out your skills on the mic is a great way to enhance your skills. I would love to do it just to keep my skills on point. I think being good on the mic is just as important as being able to, be proficient in the ring. It's half and half. You need to be able to, present yourself in a way that's believable, and then you need to be able to actually bring it in the ring. But sometimes you see that is a little different, especially with your more athletic and, we'll say athletically gifted wrestlers. Sometimes they're not great with persona or talking on the mic. It's okay. It's okay. It's a trade-off, right? But I would love to do that more. Yeah, I would love to go to open mic night because I don't give a damn if no one no one's listening to me or not. I'm gonna insult some people. I'm gonna have some fun. If there's an open bar, oof, look out.
Oh my goodness! I somehow I think that you'd be finding that. Now, my personal opinion is you probably would do good in a sketch environment opposed to stand up. I think.
Possibly.
You sound like, and I'm just guessing. I have nothing to base this off of, so, for anybody that's listening, take this with a grain of salt. I think that you seem to perform at your highest if you have somebody to play off of.
It really depends. At that point, if you need somebody to play off of and it's just you up there, then it's the crowd. Yeah, that's when you get to pick the person out of the crowd that you're going to make their life a living hell. Kind of. Like, you can ask this yeah, not really, but kind of.
Okay, now my question would be, if you were going to take this endeavor, now we don't know if you're going to do that, but if you were going to do it, now are you going up there with prepared material, or are you just going to fuck it, I'm just going to wing it?
I would probably just go out there and wing it and just be like, hey, so tonight's ladies' night. I don't see any ladies. And there could be like 18,000 women in the crowd. It's just like having fun with them, Like, it's finding like some kind of, common ground, then, pulling the rug out from underneath them and then bringing them all back home again.
Well, again, now that I'm sure somebody's going to be recording that if you happen to go. So I will look forward to that day. Because
I appreciate that.
I'm sure it'll be highly entertaining, one way or the other.
I hope so. If not, at least I would find it entertaining to myself.
Well, you just have to do what Will Ferrell says. Just enjoy the bomb. It's like when the comedy doesn't go well, just soak in the stench of the bomb.
Honestly, at that point, then it's just the entertainment for yourself. And if you're at least laughing, at least that's one person, right?
There you go. So see, that's why I said just enjoy it. Just enjoy the stench of the bomb. Yeah. But back to wrestling. Intergender or all female, which do you prefer?
Both. I don't have any preference, actually.
No preference.
To be honest, they're both going to be matches. They're both going to have their own way of working, and I enjoy intergender just as much as I would working, you know, another female. One of my favorite gender bender matches was against Super Oprah.
Yes, I did see highlights of that. How does one become a Super Oprah anyway?
You're going to have to ask her that. I have no idea.
Does that
But
qualify as
she
a
is-
her, or is it him, or him, her? Or I
You
don't
know what? I'm not going to risk offending Miss Oprah.
Okay.
So I think that is a question best saved for her. But I do have to say she is one of my favorite people to get my ass kicked by. It's with a person of that size, regardless man or woman, it's going to hit hard. The impact is going to be a lot. Just got to roll with it and figure it yourself out in the match. That's all. But no, Super Oprah has definitely been one of my favorite opponents ever. Another match where I got the crap kicked out of me, which was against Chris LaRusso. Ended up finishing him off with a tornado DDT, which was pretty awesome. But the match was out in an outdoor show. It was 100 degrees outside. It was so hot that condensation was collecting in the middle of the ring without there being rain. So there's a puddle of water in the middle of the ring, but there wasn't any rain. I don't understand how that friggin' works. But
because science.
Hey, yeah, I guess, yeah, science. Get Bill Nye to figure that one out. But yeah, so that was another really awesome match. I hope to do more intergender in my career. I think it's a lot of fun. I've trained with nothing but boys, to be honest with you, so it's nothing I'm a stranger to.
Well, considering, you know, the independents are loaded with that. Now, once you go to the big time, that'll be a different issue, but enjoy it while you're on the indies. As, you know, you can get your intergender matches in there. Speaking of which, when you called it the gender bender, was that the terminology that you tossed out there?
Yes, it was. I'm not sure if that's appropriate, but that's where I'm terminalizing it as. Yeah.
You know, now I want to say for those who haven't seen it, go to Laura Lovelace's YouTube channel. Just type in Laura Loveless, and you will see the highlight video. I think it was like 3 minutes long, just for the highlights.
3 minutes or less. I think it's actually about maybe 2.5. Because we want you to buy the entire match if you're interested in seeing it.
That's right.
Yeah. Nah, man. There's one, I think I know what you're talking about. There's one shoulder tackle in that match. You know, I can tell you this. I'm going through the match, and I'm feeling really good about it. Everything's falling into place. We have good chemistry. And then Super Oprah is coming off the ropes, and I'm coming off the ropes too. I'm like, wow, Super Oprah sure is coming really fast towards me. And then I don't remember much after that.
Yeah, you know, I was going to say the comparison there would be like, you know, the average wrestler stepping in the ring with Andre the Giant or the Big Show. So, that would be the relative comparison that I could give you. And also, before I move off of the Super Oprah thing, there apparently someone, assumably a fan of yours, made some sort of meme depicting your match with Super Oprah. Do you know what I speak of?
Is this the one where I'm trying to pin her?
Yes. And apparently your hands are quite deep.
I was trying to find the bottom of I was trying to find the bottom of her tights, and unfortunately I couldn't see over Super Oprah's big ass, and I just kept reaching, and I never did find the end of those tights. I will say that. My hand does not go actually in her butt. I will attest to that. But I am desperately trying to grip something while I'm trying to pin her, and I just couldn't find it. So I just grabbed like seam of there is tight. But when the fan posted that pic, you know, honestly, I was proud. I was proud that I would go that deep. No joke intended, to win. So no, and I shared that, and a lot of people were just like, yeah, wow, you really will do what it takes. I'm like, yep, yes I will.
Yeah, apparently. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, you need to peruse through her photos, and you will find a couple of different variations of that. You know, I'm
I
still.
think one says Laura Loveless going boldly where no woman has ever gone before, or something of that effect.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that somebody added on to the bottom of it, like, but countless men have. I was like, okay, wow, that's interesting. But you know, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that Super Oprah gimmick. I was like, I don't remember Oprah in a schoolgirl's outfit or anything like that, so I'm not quite sure where that's at. But you know, that's me. Uh, so I will move on. I'll just leave that as it is. Uh, what is the name of Laura Love's big move? What is the finisher? You know, so if anybody was going to like, hey, I'm waiting to see her do this.
Oh man, I'm kind of working on a couple right now. I never stopped with just one finisher. I did the flatliner for a little bit. I did. Man, I really don't really name them because I'm always trying to change it up. So I know that's kind of ridiculous. I'm working on a senton right now. If I had to say anything that I was going to call it, Death from Above, probably, or the Valkyrie's Flight. It'd be one of the names of it.
Flight of the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but more of that to come because the Valkyrie is a much newer gimmick. I've only had about 2 matches with her now, so I would say look out, especially at the promotion Rise. That's RYSE, not RISE, but RYSE. It's a Pittsburgh promotion. Well, Connellsville. I'm going to be working pretty soon here. Look for my new finisher, Flight of the Valkyrie, and you'll see what I'm going with.
All right. You know, you haven't made your way down to Georgia yet or Atlanta. You know, I'm not going to hold that against you, but I'm just going to say that you have, at some point, we'd like to see Loveless in around this area.
Hey, I'm working on it. I'm actually going to be in Tennessee and South Carolina this upcoming spring. If I can make it to Georgia, I'll be very, very happy. Any promoters that are looking for a I don't know, light bright-esque gimmick, somebody that flashes a lot of color and who can fly, hey, hit me up. I am looking to make it into the southern states. Like I said, I'm already going into Tennessee and into South Carolina, pardon me. Would love to hit up North Carolina, Georgia, possibly Florida, and maybe even Texas if anybody is interested. I am looking to make my way around the southern states. Love to add more of that. Yeah, I would love to hit up Georgia. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, come on down. You need to pass your tour dates down so you see if that matches up with any promoters' show dates here, so you can get it all in one big run.
I'll put it to you this way. I love the South in the summer. I know that sounds incredibly, crazy, but I love the South in the summer.
Crazy hot down here.
Well, as a little girl, no. As a little girl, I lived in Florida for the longest time. Loved the South in the summer. I don't care if it's your butt sticks to leather hot, car seats, 90 degrees plus. I don't give a damn. Get me down in the South. The food is always spicy and good. Days last forever. I love the South in the summer.
You all
Get
right
me
with
there,
me?
I will go.
That's all. You all right with me?
Thank you.
Would you say that you've had your breakout match yet, or are you still en route of that?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I would say that I've had definitely a career-changing match was when I was in the women's tournament at OCW. Okay. So I had to wrestle 3 times in a row that night. My first match was Super Oprah, my second match with Katie Arquette, and then my third match with Angel Dust. So, I mean, that was definitely a turning point in my career, I would say, because there was only about I would say maybe 10 to 15 minutes in between each match. So I had to make sure my A game was on. I had to make sure, like, I wasn't going to, die in my last match. And that was probably one of the most enjoyable experiences I've had yet in wrestling. So I would say that's a turning point. Career-making match? Not yet, but hopefully soon.
Okay. I'm going to assume right now that Jocelyn is your biggest rival.
She's one of them. Did she tell you to say that?
She didn't. No, she didn't tell me to say that. No, it just seemed like y'all have wrestled a number of times, and after a while, I'm like, okay, that seems like that's the, the sacred, excuse me, let me say that again, the Lakers to her Celtics, or something to that variation.
She's definitely one of them. We have wrestled each other a numerous amount of times at different promotions. Sometimes I win, sometimes she wins. You just saw that she just won. I think that was crap because she scratched my eyes, but whatever. I always enjoy having a battle with Jocelyn, seeing what she has and, under her sleeve, or she has her manager, that weird manservant guy at Mega. That's fine. I'm going to get her one of these days, and it ain't going to be pretty, but, I always enjoy working her.
Okay. One of the biggest, not the biggest, but one of. Top 3, maybe.
I'm not giving her that much credit. I'm still a little mad about her scratching my eye.
Okay, so yeah, it's like you don't want to give her that kind of a boost.
Not just yet.
Oh, all right. Well, that's fine. That's fair. If there was a match that if you had to say, hey, look, you want to know what I'm about, you want to know how good I am, go find this match and look at it. If there's a match out there that you have that you would point to for your fans or people who have not seen anything from you, what match is that you would tell them, hey, go get this one?
I would definitely say any matches that I had with Angel Dust.
Okay.
Especially from the tournament. Definitely. Or my match that I actually won the belt off of her was pretty awesome too. We dealt with a lot of issues in the venue, actually. Like the ceiling was super low and the ring was set up high, and it was just, we were able to do some neat things even with that, around that match. I would definitely speak both highly, not only to her skill, but to mine as well. I really got to be able to feel more comfortable and shine in that. My match with Katie Arquette for that tournament was pretty good too. I would definitely say check that out. Even my match with Black Diamond with Jocelyn, I would say. That's a really hard question to answer because I find things that about myself I cannot stand when I'm rewatching my matches. I'm just like, oh, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? And I find things that I really like about a match. Honestly, I would say the best advice I could give, check out my YouTube page and figure it out for yourself.
There you go.
Yeah.
See that marketing that you just did right there?
Yeah. Be the brand.
There you go. But the questions are supposed to be hard. Except for this one, because I'm sure that you probably have quite a bit to say about this. That you have a picture on your Facebook that is labeled, let me make sure I get this right. Dear Miss Too Good to Answer My DMs. Would you care to explain that?
Oh, is that the one with the Slim Shady thing?
That is the Slim Shady reference.
Yeah. It's some of the things that not only female wrestlers, mind you, probably get in their inbox, but women in general, hounded constantly. I get things in my inbox where people are sending me waves, just waving their hand, and I'll get that from one person 4 times a week. I'm thinking to myself, what do you want me to respond and do? I just usually give these people a thumbs up and just leave it be. Mm-hmm. But then it's constant. And you're just I don't know. Are you a bot? Are you from Russia? What do you want me to say? I'm not giving you my last 4 digits of my social. I don't know what you want me to do here. Mm. Or you get the person whom I mean, a lack of a better word, is really aggressive and nasty. Like, you don't know what to say to this person. Like, oh, you're too good to talk to me, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, dude, I have a life. Don't you have a 9 to 5? I have a 9 to 5.
I do, but I sacrifice that so I can drone on in these DMs all day. That's the answer.
I guess.
Or perhaps, no, I don't have a 9 to 5 and just sit here in front of the computer endlessly for hours. So apparently, it seems that you deal with that and a bunch of nonsensical DMs. Is that fair to say?
Okay, well, sometimes there are people that are overseas that will message me, and at first I think it's a bot, and then I realize, oh no, this person just is speaking in really broken English, and I feel kind of bad. And you have to be careful about that too, because, you know, sometimes some of your wrestling fans are going to be special, in that special case that makes them special, and you don't realize that sometimes when that happens. Yeah, no, and you want to be supportive of them because they really do make the show, and they come out and cheer you and everything else. So to say that you have to read every message carefully, sometimes you really do. There's somebody who supports me locally that actually is a really, really huge fan of mine, and I didn't realize they sent me a DM, and I was just like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. Hey, no, I saw you. Thank you for starting up at my show. And, you know, I really do enjoy when they turn up at my show. It's just you have to be careful. You have to be careful. And sometimes that means reading through a lot of DMs. Thank God, no dick pics yet. I don't know how. I have lucked out. Maybe I look too aggressive. I look scary. Not sure.
You've jinxed yourself.
I really did. Because I bet tomorrow my inbox is just going to be nothing but.
You haven't got those yet, eh? Well, we'll fix that. Click, 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 click.
Here's 1,000 dick pics. No, I'm dying under an avalanche of dick pics. No, stop it.
Oh, I feel so sorry for you. Well, maybe, you know, this is somewhere in the middle of the conversation, so maybe they won't decide that, hey, challenge accepted. And they won't get to that point. You haven't got it yet. Wow. I'll take that challenge. Click. Yeah. We don't want that. So for those of you out there that fall into that category, shame on you, which is actually how I lead off the episodes of Tales from the Creep, which you can find on the Women's Pro Wrestling Network Facebook page. Just click on the videos. Quick plug for those short episodes that we have. Very short, mostly. And speaking of which, I'm going to say this preceding her saying it, that you will probably be able to hear a adventure from Miss Loveless in that video segment as well. So, you know, you probably want to tune in and take a listen to that.
Definitely. I definitely have one.
In December, speaking of your New Year's, you know, we're going to rewind back a few days to a post that you put up that I found quite interesting. And I'm going to read it for you.
Okay.
Does the Christmas song "Baby It's Cold Outside" freak anyone else out? He's not letting her leave his house, even though she's repeatedly said she needs to get going, then tries to make her drink more. Sorry. Grabs her hand and tells her that she'll die if she leaves. Actually, this would be a great Halloween song. What? Why did you take this song and pick it apart? Like,
because I was listening to it, I'm like, damn, this song got real on so many levels. It does. It does. It's scary, dude. Okay, seriously, you know, you set aside the whole, like, you know, oh, it's cutesy and Christmassy. If some woman was over at some dude's house, and she's like, hey, I gotta go, I gotta call my Uber or something, he's like, no, the weather's bad, you're gonna stay right here. But no, really, no, you're gonna stay right here, drink this drink, you're gonna stay right here, everything's gonna be fine, drink this drink, stay right here. You'd be freaked out. And that would be an awesome start to a great horror film.
Well, I have to say this. You know, I saw that, And then I looked it up as I was doing my research for my questions and whatnot. And I was almost perfectly fine with the whole song. It's like, it's not that bad, except for one line. It's one line in that song that sets it into, okay, maybe that's not good territory. You know what that is?
What?
What's in this drink?
Yes! And then you start thinking, and that's when all of a sudden during the preview, that weird boom, like sound effect goes, and like there's silence. You're just like, what's in this drink? And then you see her running down a hallway trying to find the doorway out. And he's locked the door from the inside.
You've already written this.
Now you want to see this movie.
You've already written this out, haven't you? You got a script?
Maybe. It's an easy script. Girl goes home with creepy guy over Christmas. Guy doesn't let her leave house. Battle ensues.
But see, the problem was he wasn't creepy. I looked, when I looked it up, I found a scene to a movie, which actually had Ricardo Montalban, and I like Ricardo. He was Mr. Super Suave for his day, and but he was the guy doing the thing. Baby, don't leave, and just have another drink, and this, that, and the other. But there's that one line when she sits down, takes it's like, hey, what's in this drink? I was like, oh God, why did they have to do that?
She wakes up in a bathtub full of ice, and then she's like, oh no! It's great for a movie, but like seriously, the series of events that lead up into that song is actually pretty disturbing. She's constantly trying to leave, and he's just not letting her go.
Well, that's true. Now you should. Just to add on for that, for anybody that needs to lighten that mood up, then you want to see the Saturday Night Live rendition of that song, where they did straight for the first rendition, and after she stays and he wakes up, now he's trying to get her to go. So all of that changes once he's done whatever it is that he wanted to do. He's like, okay, baby, you can leave, and now she's changed her mind. She wants to stay. So.
Wouldn't that be the ultimate twist in that horror movie? That she decides, I want to stay. Can I change my relationship status? No. Can I call you an Uber? No, I'll make you breakfast. Oh, no.
That's right. No, breakfast? No, I got to go to work, honey. You sure you don't want to go?
Sunday, though.
That's not working the weekends. I'm filling in for somebody.
Exactly.
You don't buy that excuse? How about this one?
That will be the sequel to my version of that film.
Well, you need to get that script cranked out then.
I'm working on it right now. I'm looking through back my old posts.
Well, like I said, I found that in December. But I have to tag on before I move into the final sections here that was based on 1944 sensibilities. So, there we have it. So anybody, so I don't want to taint the song for anybody that loves "Baby It's Cold Outside." Yes, I know it doesn't, especially considering the things that have been going on within these last few years. Any woman that would get up and say, "Hey, what's in this drink?" That's probably not a good sign.
Probably not. No. If somebody is refusing to let you leave their home and you're adamantly trying to go, you should probably call for help.
And I'm going to send that video to you because like I said, I like Ricardo, but clearly he's lying when he says, "Hey, it's snowing outside." You look out the window, it's like dry. It's a blizzard, baby. Don't go.
Yeah.
So yes, but it's all in good 1940s fun.
We'll go with that, sure.
Well, I mean, come on. They made a murder ballad sound groovy back in those days. Come on, I mean, really. Which I didn't even know until at the time.
That's very true. That's very true.
I mean, I was Mac the Knife. Anybody, I'm not going to go and explain it now, but anybody listen to that song, just listen to the words of Mac the Knife. And I had no idea. I was like, this dude is talking about killing somebody. But it sounded great. Wow. I was like, how do you do that?
See, now I got to listen to that.
Yes, there's your lesson for tonight, Laura. See, this show is educational as well. That's right, Mac the Knife, which was and I only found that because of Mac Tonight, the McDonald's commercial with the big moon man. I don't know if you are familiar with those, but that was what the song was based off of. And I found out, I was like, this is a murder ballad. Holy crap.
Now I really want to listen to that song.
Well, type it in and type in lyrics and just listen to him. Read it while he's singing it, and then you'll get what I'm saying. And when you do,
Gotcha.
Just send me a message like, okay, I get it now.
Okay.
That's all I'm asking for. Just send me that message.
I definitely will. I will give you a full report of my thesis on Mac the Knife.
It's time for random questions.
It's time for random questions. The portion where I just toss out some stuff that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with wrestling, but just for kicks and giggles. Are you ready?
Yes.
Question 1. What is the male version of a Valkyrie?
I think a Viking. Or maybe a god, like an Odin.
I don't have a buzzer. Sorry. According to odinsphere.wicca.com, male version of a Valkyrie is a berserker.
Oh, okay.
Huh. Again, educational. Who is the lead actor in the movie Valkyrie?
Tom Cruise?
That is correct. Tom
Ooh,
Cruise,
all right.
2008. In Marvel Comics, the original character of the Valkyrie's real name was...
I'm not going to know this one. I don't know.
Real name was Brunhilde.
Oh, that's actually a German, it's a German story, actually. Brunhilde was on top of a mountain. She was trapped up there. Yeah.
Yeah, see? That was the original.
I know some things. See, I know some things.
I know you do. Because Laura Loveless is intelligent. She has the wisdom of the ages. She's a Valkyrie. See, look, I add little things onto your character that you just, I'm not asking for nothing off of that. Just take it and run. Wisdom of the ages. The line, there can be only one. This is easy. Comes from what movie?
Highlander.
Bonus points if you give me the year.
1987?
Oh, too many years on there. Too high. 83.
I was thinking of the sequel, which was terrible. Yeah, okay.
The sequel doesn't exist.
Oh, Highlander 2? It's out there, man. I don't know if you can erase it. That's that is some
the sequel
some
doesn't
pure
exist.
Cinema gold right there.
Listen, if the Highlander franchise doesn't even acknowledge that sequel, then I don't acknowledge that sequel either. They don't even, they skip right over it. When they went to 3, nothing in part 2 was mentioned at all. They don't acknowledge it in the least. Never happened.
As they shouldn't. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
No, it doesn't. But what the hell? It was Highlander. Let's just make one. Speaking of what the hell is Keijo butt fighting?
Can you repeat that?
I might be pronouncing the first one wrong. Keijo? Is that? Am I saying that right? Keijo butt fighting?
Oh, I think that's an anime. I put a clip on that. That is an anime that it might actually be a Japanese thing. God only knows. But it just revolves around 2 girls slapping their asses together to knock themselves off of like a little like floaty thing in the water. Yeah. But apparently the anime is doing great money, so they got some kind of winning formula there.
Okay, I'm going to give bonus points for you actually being able to describe that. I was not aware that you had that much insight to it. I just saw the clip. I was like, what the hell is this? Butt fighting. Like, wow. So, yeah, I think that deserves bonus points there.
It's Dragon Ball Z, only with butts.
I I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I'll go with it.
Fair enough.
That might actually be an audio clip that I can use. It's Dragon Ball Z only with butts.
You should. I encourage you.
I got to find some way that I can work that in somewhere, somehow. What's a talent that the general public is not generally aware that you have?
Oh, jeez. I can eat really fast.
I can eat really fast. I'll go with that.
Yeah, like to the point where it's almost disgusting. I can eat really fast. I'm trying to think of anything I didn't cover already. I can eat really fast, and I can pick up things with my toes.
Ah, well, that's good for all the fetish freaks out there. I'm sure they'll be happy to hear that one.
Ah, man, now my inbox is going to be full of nothing but dick pics and feet. I'm really not doing myself any favors.
No, you're not, apparently. Last random question. Name me a guilty pleasure movie. Now, by guilty pleasure movie, I mean one movie that by all measures and logical sense should be a terrible movie, but you just like it anyway.
Okay, so for those who don't know, I actually have a unfiltered love for bad films. I don't actually think that some of these films are really all that bad. I'm actually starting a YouTube series where I review these films. It's called Not Another Bad Movie. But one of the films that's featured in my series, and I love this film to death, is Showgirls.
Ooh.
I think that movie is great. I love that movie with a passion.
Really? Wow.
I do.
Wow.
And I'm not even a guy. I know. First off, I'll just throw out some really good, awesome things about the film. The soundtrack is amazing. Not only does it feature David Bowie, but Prince as well. Come on. Like, the soundtrack's awesome to that movie.
I think I'm going to have
actually
to clip this off into something separate right here, but go ahead.
The cinematography in the film is actually really well done, especially during the dance scenes. That took a lot of work. I thought they put a lot of thought into the whole dance scenes and how to film that correctly. I didn't mind, like, there's a lot of, like, really awesome things about it that gets kind of, like, overshadowed by the fact that people, like, oh, it's a terrible movie, it features nothing but sex, and, you know, it's, you know, so over-bloated, and, you know, even the director said it was supposed to be kind of, like, a parody of what he thought of the Hollywood industry and a Hollywood film. I don't know if that's true. Let's not give ourselves that much credit, but I still think it's a really awesome film just to be able, for the quote-unquote bad factor, it's very rewatchable. I've watched it at least now like 5 or 6 different times. There's always something new I'm finding in it that are like those little nuances about the story that is hinted at, like in the setting or the background. I'm like, oh wow, they actually did put a lot of thought into this. Too bad it's such a terrible film.
Yes, too bad indeed. I've watched that movie a few times back in the day. I was like, well, it didn't get no better for me, but, you know, I'm just saying. It could have been a different path for Elizabeth Berkley. That's about the best I could give it. I know why she took the role, because had that thing worked, it would have placed her into a different acting stratosphere.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe she just was stuck with, like, I'm so excited. You know, that was maybe, no.
She had,
but, I don't know.
She had to break out. And you know, in all fairness, I'm going to give this movie one piece of praise, in that I think it came out at the wrong time for it to work.
You know what? I would agree with that. I tried starting several drinking games around watching that film, and it wouldn't work because we would all get alcohol poisoning. Unfortunately, like the amount of nail art, cocaine usage, crystal, like bad 90s haircuts, like you die. But it's so great. There's so many things that is great to love about that film.
So Showgirls is your guilty pleasure, is one of, apparently you have many.
Oh, absolutely. I have far many more, but Showgirls is definitely like the top of that list.
Okay, I'm gonna poke the bear here just because. Give me 3.
Ooh. Okay, well, Showgirls.
Hmm.
What's another really good, terrible film that I like? You're gonna let me give away my entire series here.
No, I don't. I'm not gonna. I just wanted you to give me that so I can say, okay, I'm gonna add one into the list and get the assignment to watch it. But go ahead. So we got
Okay, so
Showgirls in there.
Showgirls is definitely at the top of that. Halloween 2 from Rob Zombie is definitely on there.
Okay.
Which, if you read some of the reviews for that, people just pan it. And another review that I'm currently working on, Spring Breakers.
Ah, yeah. I think that's a uncomfortable movie to watch. I'm like, should I
That
be looking at
movie
this?
it's so dumb. Like, all right, fine, I'll buy a bunch of white girls being able to rob a chicken shack, but then just going down to Florida like, hey, nothing's wrong. And and I really thought about it. I'm like, well, goddamn, I bet that really could happen in real life. No one's arresting these dumb bitches yet. And then they're just walking around Florida robbing people like, nothing, whatever.
That's right.
And I'm sorry. Yeah, and they all get away with it. No, all wearing pink ski masks. Like, that's, really inconspicuous. And then Franco's character, Spring Break, in every other take. That movie is ridiculous.
Well, how awesome is Franco? I mean, come on. That guy is, he doesn't get a lot of credit, but he is a pretty diverse actor.
Yes, and I will say this, from having lived in Florida, I have met the actual realization of that human being. Franco is pretty good at capturing what South Floridians living in that reality are. So kudos to him. The white boy dreadlocks were a nice touch. Completely accurate. I will say this, 100% accurate. Spring Break. Accurate.
Well, fortunately, you did not fall into whatever person that he was portraying. So, kudos to you and Laura Lohan for not, because I think if anybody was going to do it, it would have been her. So.
Most likely, yeah.
So there we have it. Now I'm going to add in, I got to give you just something awful. Go watch Galaxy of Terror. And that's for other people out there that's listening as well. If you want something that's really just horrible to look at that.
Is that the one where she gets raped by the alien?
Some gigantic boar worm, something. Yes.
Yeah,
weird.
I did see that. Yeah, it is weird because she it did to her because that's what she feared or something.
Yes. That is.
I remember that.
Absolutely.
That was disturbing. Yeah, no.
I'm not sure how you would have that fear. I hope I don't get raped by a worm. That doesn't seem like it's the most logical thing to be afraid of. I mean, maybe rape in general, but specifically by a worm is just,
That might have been maybe I don't know, an allegory for other things, like maybe just men's parts as general. I can't answer.
Well, I'm just saying, everybody else's fear was pretty accurate. They didn't have no allegory. You didn't have to try to, translate what this meant. Everybody else's was on point.
Well, maybe she took Sir Mix-a-Lot way too literally when he says my anaconda don't want none, and that's when she got that picture in her head. I don't know.
I can see you really trying to just. You're trying to make
I'm trying. I'm trying hard for this lady. I feel bad now.
I got a million of them. You don't like that excuse? How about this one? That one no good? Try this one.
I'd be a great lawyer.
Let me just keep lobbing them at you, man.
There you go.
So there you go, folks. Galaxy of Terror. She's seen it, but how about you? I know this has turned into a movie review suddenly, but apparently, hey, why not? So there you have
I
that.
agree.
And you need to tune into her YouTube channel when she does produce these movie reviews, because they should be insanely ridiculous. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comedy that's going to be wrapped up in those things. I can feel it coming.
I definitely had to polish off at least half a bottle of wine to get through Spring Breakers. I will say that. Editing that was a pain in the ass. Also, the fact that if you notice throughout that entire film, none of those girls are actually drinking the beer. They're just pouring it in their mouths, and it's like spilling out. There's a part where I get really agitated about that. That might be the highlight of the review, so I don't want to give too much away, but man, do I lose it over that film.
How dare you waste good beer? Is
Yeah.
That, oh, yeah, shame on them. Horrible.
Terrible.
People that could be drinking that.
Like Laura Lohan.
Well, Laura needs to stay in the in the shadows right now. We don't want to get her excited, because I think beer is probably the equivalent of spinach in her case.
Very likely so.
Might get crunk and just go out and start a fight or something.
Sounds fun to me. I don't know, but whatever.
So and I'm also going to say, if you have a horrible movie that you would like Miss Loveless to review, I think that would be fun too.
Please, by all means.
Smokey and the Bandit 3.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Have you seen any of the Smokey and the Bandits?
I think I saw the first one, like a long time ago.
You have to watch 3. You have to watch 3.
You know you're getting into some bad territory whenever you hit the third of anything.
Well, let me just say this, because, I like my movies, all right? Let me just start with that. I've become fascinated with how this movie fell apart and somebody just saved it. Like, I know that movie is, by all metrics, that movie should be terrible. It should be. But I just, you talk about something like that's awful that I love. Like, I don't know who the guy was that edited this thing, but I know he was in that edit bay like, God damn it, I'm going to make this movie work. I don't know how. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I'm going to string this piece of shit together, and I'm going to make it coherent, and it's going to work.
Oh, my.
You just need to read the legend behind how what it was and what it came out to be in order to appreciate the terribleness behind it.
I might have to check that out now, just for your word. I might have to do it.
Yes, please do. And anybody else, by the way, please do. That you need to have that.
Fair enough. I will. So
there we go. I'm going to be looking forward to that one. If you manage to actually do it. Normally I would end with fantasy booking, but this has gone on far longer than I originally anticipated.
Sorry.
No. What are you apologizing for? This is great for me. I didn't want to put you through the measure of having to think and come up with some new storyline for yourself.
Oh boy.
I don't know if your synapses still firing on all cylinders over there.
Always are. Always looking to do something new. Always looking to test myself, basically. I don't know. It always just depends.
Well, then, in that case, it's time for fantasy booking.
Fantasy booking.
Oh my.
This is the segment where you get to book your own angle and or storyline against whomever and wherever you would like. The only caveat to that is this person must be living. You can't turn around and say, hey, I'd like to wrestle Mr. Perfect. No, I'm sorry, he's not here. So, and not just wrestle. Storyline. How do we get there? Book just picture it like this. You walk into a promotion, the promoter says, hey, look, I don't feel like doing this. Book it. Whatever you want, done. So, hit me.
All right, off the top of my head, if I had to pick one, me versus Taya Valkyrie. Angle, she doesn't think that I'm, gifted enough to carry the Valkyrie name, so she wants to test me. I would have the fight at Rise Promotions Again, that's RYSE. And it would be a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Ah, that is interesting. And now Mr. Green will add his 2 cents to the fantasy booking scenario. As I would say, I think I said this earlier, that the Clockwork Angel is a natural foe for a Valkyrie at some point in time. So if I had the book, or the magic pen, if you will, I think her and her crazy butt would have to come down to whatever promotion that we have. We're just going to say APCW, since that's around the corner for me. And being that she is convinced herself that she is a entity from heaven who must win in order to get back, what better way to prove her mantle, to make it back into the heavens, than to destroy a Valkyrie? Another unworldly entity that, of similar ilk. So I think that it has to be something like that. Now, what circumstances or what the match would have to be? I guess it'd have to be something epic. Matter of fact, let's just call it that. Another name for hardcore match. Well, we'll just rename it Epic Battle between the Valkyrie,
Okay.
Loveless, and the Clockwork Angel, Catred. And what's on the line? Of course, the souls of one of these ladies, which of course nobody can actually see. Because she's fighting to get back into heaven, and the Valkyrie's fighting to take her to Valhalla. Or something like
I
that.
had a feeling you were going to say souls were on the line. That's a pretty huge thing to have on the line.
It is.
As long as you have one. I mean, with wrestlers, you never know, but since
well,
we're ethereal beings.
You are ethereal beings. That's why I said, like, what else could you have? I mean, how could money and first off, I'm not really even sure. And I asked, I was like, well, I'm not sure how wrestling would work for an angel to get back into, heaven anyway. But I don't want to apply that kind of logic to it.
Getting into dangerous territory there. But no, I like that. I like that a lot. Hey, if you find a promoter to book it, I'll come down for it. I'll be happy to do it. That sounds like a lot of fun. We can have a wings versus wings match or something. That'd be pretty cool. How about this as a stipulation for the match? Whoever loses gets their wings torn off.
Oh, see, now you're going into the dogma.
Yeah.
When that Kevin Smith, then they get their wings taken off, that makes them mortal.
Right?
Ooh.
So, I mean, then you have that stipulation on there.
Wings must be destroyed. Mortality is your punishment.
So there you go.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Too bad I wasn't the booker.
Well, I'm sure somebody will pick it up somewhere.
Somebody. Well, I know you wouldn't want to lose then, because to see and watch your wings get destroyed after losing the match, after all that work, would make you cry legitimately. I don't think you'd have to act.
I mean, only at that promotion. I'd still go to other places and have it. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, my wings, no.
Oh, they're fine over here, but just not over here. Oh no.
Well, that's fine. Well, there you have it, folks. That would be the promoter. That is an epic match, and I think I just named it that. The epic battle between the Clockwork Angel and the Valkyrie. Book it. Somebody needs to.
There you go. Absolutely.
So with that, I think we have covered quite a bit of ground here. We've unveiled peeled back layers on Laura Lohan and Loveless. Talked about some horrible pictures that you've received. We've broken down the Christmas song, which you have really determined to be a horror song, apparently, a Halloween song. We've gotten some education in here of what the male version of Valkyrie was, and all sorts of movie trivia, which was fired out just at random. It is a good day. Good interview, I must say.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. It's definitely been one of the funnest interviews I've ever had. I still think that you should definitely be my announcer anytime I come out and work someplace. But no, it's been a great time.
I'd be happy to come out and be your announcer.
Thank you. You could be my berserker from Valhalla.
Do I have to die for that? I mean, I'm not sure how that works.
We'll skirt around that.
Okay. Well, we'll go with that. And I'm for those that are listening, we're going to say that if you want to see these matches that Laura has been, all you have to do is type out Laura Loveless. It is easy. Takes you directly to her YouTube channel. Well, at least it brings it up. It's the first thing that you'll see. You click that. That'll take you directly to her YouTube channel. And you can see a couple of the matches that we talked about here, along with some of the highlights, and that incredible promo that I was talking about earlier, where I said that she should probably be an actress. I think that's a short statement. She doesn't think so just yet, but give her some time. I think she'll change her mind. Also, I believe, how much time we give her before your movie reviews kick in?
I would say the next 2 weeks or so. It takes a lot of editing on that process, but I've been recording a lot of stuff for it, and I can't wait to post it. I think Spring Breakers actually might be my first review out, so. And just in time for spring break. So I'm pretty happy about that.
So there we have it. So we're just going to say about a month in general, just to add in some extra time. But yes, I understand how the editing works, and it is a very long and tedious process, much longer than most people like to give it credit for. And I won't be talking about anyone specifically, because I know some people like to rush me to get their videos done. But yes, she said it, not me. It takes time, takes effort. It's a lot. It's a skill set. Give me a break. So there we have it, and I'm going to be looking forward to that. In fact, I'm going to subscribe to her channel right now. As you should.
Thank you.
So,
thank you very much.
Yeah, join along with me and hit that subscribe button, and not just hit subscribe and hit the little bell so that it will notify you when new videos go up. The same way that I would ask that you would do for me, people out there. You go to Women's Pro Wrestling Network, hit the subscribe button, click the little bell, and make sure that you get the notifications so you can get the matches, the interviews, the docu-style interviews, and if you go to the Facebook page, you get the exclusive Tales from the Creep episodes only shown there. I think I have sold enough stuff for tonight. So, for me, Mr. Green, and for Laura Loveless, the Valkyrie, I'm going to say goodnight and so long, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the WPN's Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling. If you have questions or comments, please contact us via our Facebook or our YouTube channel at the Women's Pro Wrestling Network. If you're new to the WPN, feel free to subscribe to our channel and like our page. We appreciate your support. Thank you again for listening.